Good morning. My name is Charlie, and I am an amateur naturalist from upstate New York, Greene County specifically. I wanted to talk to you guys about plants because a lot of times people ask me, hey, I saw this really cool plant, can you tell me what it is? And I ask them to describe it, and they'll say, like, it has purple fluffy flowers or something like that. And the thing is that that's not really a helpful description. It's not something that you will generally find in, like, a key and what does fluffy even mean? So I wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about the things that people actually look at to help identify their plants. Sorry, my eyes are going all over the place. I can never remember where I'm supposed to be looking. So, yeah, let's do it. So the first thing that I need to tell you, and this is going to sound like it's not connected, but it is the difference between leaves and leaflets. So when we think of a leaf, we usually think of something that's shaped like this little thing here, or, something shaped like this. But leaves, the thing is, if you look at something like this is a rose bush. All of these little things here are not leaves, those are leaflets. This whole thing right here is the leaf. And you can tell because it's got this kind of interesting structure at the bottom where it connects to the twig. Leaflets don't really have that kind of complicated structure. So this whole thing is the leaf, and it's divided into leaflets. Here are a couple more examples of things that have leaflets, which are also called compound leaves. Plants that have leaflets instead of simple leaves are said to have compound leaves. This is a clover, and these are leaflets. So when people say they found a 4-leaf clover, they actually found a 4-leafleted clover. Let's see if I can find the stem that these leaves are coming off of. This is taking too long, let's move on. And these are some more compound leaves. I would say these are some kind of vetch, something in the bean family. But anyway, these are leaflets. And this whole thing is the leaf. So let's zoom in and you can see kind of that there's some structure at the base of the leaf where it connects to the twig. Over here too, no more structure. But not where the leaflets connect to I forget the name of the middle part of the leaf. Sorry. So, yeah, that's leaves versus leaflets and compound versus simple leaves. And whether a leaflet is simple or compound can help identify the plant, as well as how compound. So these vetches are what we call pinnately compound. You can imagine pinnate like a pine tree, like it goes up and then it comes out on both sides off of a central stem, or like a pin feather. And this clover, by contrast, is palmately compound, where it comes up from a central point and then spreads out, which you can imagine like a palm with fingers spreading out, or like a palm tree where it goes up and then the branches go from the top. Okay, now that we know the difference between leaves and leaflets, I can show you how that's relevant. This is a beautiful silver maple, or scientific name is Acer saccharinus. And here are its beautiful, simple leaves. And here's the twig they come off of. Do you see how there are 2 leaves coming off at each node? A node is just a point where leaves come off. That is called the leaf arrangement. And leaf arrangement is really helpful for identifying a plant. So these have 2 coming off at each node on opposite sides. So we can say it has an opposite arrangement. Meanwhile, here is some goldenrod. And as you can see, there is only 1 leaf coming off at each node. And we call that an alternate leaf arrangement. there's one other type of leaf arrangement that we talk about, and that is the whorled arrangement. And these little tiny things are some type of gallium, G-A-L-I-U-M, not like the metal. And these have 3 or more leaves coming off at the nodes. It's called whorled because it's like a whoosh. Another thing that's useful for ID is the leaf margins, or the edges of the leaf. This is a honeysuckle, and as you can see, the margins are smooth. It has no teeth, it has no, waviness, just a straight, smooth line. And we refer to that as having entire margins. But, if you say it has flat margins, then people will know what you mean. It's just, that's not how it will be written in your ID guides, usually. This is an eastern redbud tree, and it also has entire margins, as well as alternate leaf arrangement. This is a grapevine, and the edges of these leaves are all jaggy. And that is referred to as either serrate or dentate. I'll look that up and I'll add that in later. This little guy is either a dead nettle or it's what's called gill over the ground. And they look the same and grow in the same place, and I'm not entirely sure how to tell them apart, but either way, it's something in the mint family. The edge of this, you can see, is kind of scalloped. So now let's talk about leaf shape. This is a pin oak, I believe, definitely some kind of oak. And as you can see, the leaves have lobes. These specific ones we call pinnately lobed, the same as, pinnately compound, because lobes come out from a central stem. This beautiful tree is a swamp white oak, and let's look at the leaves. These are also lobed pinnately. And at some point, it becomes kind of subjective whether you're talking about lobes or an unlobed leaf with wavy edges. I'm not sure where the line is between those two, but I'll look that up and I'll add that in later too. See, this is a learning process for both of us. This lovely specimen is a Norway maple, and its leaves are also, let me get a better one. Its leaves are also lobed, but this is more palmately lobed. The lobes are all coming out from a central point. Taking a break from leaves for a moment, something else that is important for identifying plants that a surprising number of people leave out is what kind of plant it is. Is it a tree, or is it an herb like that? Or maybe it is a shrub, and I don't immediately have oh, there's a shrub. Here's some shrubby plants. So we all know what a tree is, I think, but officially a tree is a plant that has a woody stem and is usually relatively tall. A shrub is a plant that has a woody stem, and the stem usually divides into multiple stems towards the ground, and it usually doesn't get too tall. Like, I'm 5'6", and these aren't really much taller than me. These are maybe 6 foot at the tallest. An herb would be something like this plantain, where it's very small, it's not woody, and the above ground parts of the plant die completely in the winter. Some people distinguish between forbs and grasses, but they are both herbs. So a forb would just be any herb that's not a grass. Personally, I just call everything herbs. But if you see the word forb, that's what it means. And lastly, we have vines, like these grapes. Vines can be woody or non-woody, and they grow either trailing along the ground or sometimes climbing up other things. So let's take a stab at this plant. How would you describe this? What is its growth habit? Is it a tree, shrub, herb, or vine? What is the leaf arrangement? Does it have simple or compound leaves? What are the leaf margins like? Is it lobed? So this is a spearmint plant. Like most of its relatives in the mint family, it has simple leaves in an opposite arrangement, and the margins are serrate, the leaves are not lobed, and a really notable feature is that it has this square stem. But I'm not going to go into identifying specific families today, that's for another video. But here is one more plant to test your knowledge on. So this is a Japanese maple, and as you can see from the stem, even though it's pretty small, it's actually a tree. And it will get bigger. This one's just kind of, its baby. The leaves, they are simple and not compound. They are lobed with 5-ish lobes. Sometimes they will have different numbers of lobes on the same tree, and that's fine. Palmately lobed. Leaf margins are serrate. And the leaf arrangement, which I just totally forgot to bring up, is opposite, with 2 leaves per node. So that's all I got for you today. I will make another one later with more features that you should look for when trying to identify plants, like the flowers and stuff like that. But for now, I think we're okay with the leaves and the general growth form or growth habit of the plant. So if there's anything that you think I should have explained better, or you want me to do a video on anything specific, let me know in the comments. Not to be one of those guys, but like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.